Hi guys, welcome back to our 2017 career in Euro Truck Simulator 2 with Promods and Rusmap. Episode 3, we're currently in Grimsby and we're just about to take our third quick job which should get us to the point of buying a truck. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Click on Grimsby in the map and fresh fish, that's appropriate to Grimsby. Fresh fish to Cardiff, we'll take that. Grimsby's a very big area for its fresh fish. Okay, so we'll start our engine. Let's check out track IR, that looks alright. Yep. Turn the lights on because it's getting dark, and off we go. So, fresh fish out of Grimsby. Well, you can't get more realistic than that. Grimsby's a really big fishing port. I'm in Lincolnshire and the whole area is famous for its fresh fish direct from Grimsby, and we're going to take a load of it down to Cardiff so the Welsh can have some nice fish, and why not. So these guys go. Actually came to a traffic light when it was on green. Amazing. Okay. So the sun is setting, it's a bit bright in your eyes, but... So, Grimsby to Cardiff, which way are we going to go? I'd imagine we'll go across country towards Birmingham, and then the M5, possibly, going south. I'd imagine that's a route. I mean, you could go straight down the A1 to the M25, round the M25, onto the M4 and off to Cardiff. That, I think, would be a long way. I think if I was doing it, I'd go across country to Birmingham. So, it says Cambridge, London at the moment. That doesn't necessarily mean a lot. To go all the way down the A1 to the M25 and then round the M25 to get to the M4 would seem to be a rather long version of the route. So, cross country makes a lot more sense to me. But we will see. Nice evening. It's nearly 7 o'clock in the evening now. Seasons don't seem to change in Euro Truck. I mean, the weather does. It will suddenly start binning it down, but seasons don't seem to change. It always seems to be summer from what I can make of things, because it's going to get dark at about 10 o'clock at night, and that suggests it's summer. You can, of course, use mods. You can put a winter mod in, which will give you snow and ice and all sorts, and if you want to see me do that, let me know in the comments and I will consider adding in a winter mod. I'm considering adding in real physics. Don't know if anybody out there is familiar with the real physics mod. If you are, tell me what you think of it. But apparently it does make the physics of driving even more realistic. Well, I must admit I haven't tried it yet, but that doesn't mean I won't. Problem is there are so many mods. I mean, there's so many things you can do, and the more mods you add, the more you're risking game crashes and incompatibility between mods and so on and so on and so on. So it tends to be that if you find something you like, you stick with it really. But then there might be something new comes out in the mod that I think, oh yeah, that would be really good. And there you go. So we shall see. We shall see. But we are heading down this road, and I assume we are heading across towards Birmingham. You can, of course, pull up somewhere safely, so you're off the road. Press the escape key to go back to the main menu. Click on World Map, and you can see exactly where you are and where you're going. When it comes to it, we might do that. We've got a service station on my side of the road, so we haven't got to faff about trying to go into a petrol station on the other side of the road and then get back out of it and everything else. If there's a convenient one, we might just pull over and just have a quick look at the world map, just see where which route we are going. No harm in that. Technically could have checked that out before I left Grimsby, but there you go. How haven't seen anything as yet. We are now able to get a loan from the bank, so at the end of this job, that will be the plan. Get a loan, get a truck, and Europe, here we come. And thanks to Promods and Rusmap, we've got lots and lots of places to go in Europe. Going a bit fast there, so I'm just going to slow down and put the cruise control on. 50-mile-an-hour limit down here. As I said before, you've got to watch out for interactive police cars now. Got to watch them. They police seem to appear very regularly, and if you are speeding, you'll get a ticket for a police car. Not necessarily from a camera. We're on the road to Birmingham, I just noticed. It says Cambridge Shepherd down there. That'll be the A1, I assume. So we are on the way to Birmingham, which makes perfect sense. Well, if there's a convenient petrol station down here somewhere, or gas station to our American cousins, we'll pull over and have a look and see exactly where we are going. So yeah, what was I talking about then? No idea, it's gone out of my mind. But yeah, I think we're going across to Birmingham down the M5. I do think that's the way we're going. I was talking about getting into Europe, wasn't I? And Promods and Rusmap had so much more territory you could explore. And the end of the last video, we had a look at the world map, and we're on something like 0.35% roads explored. So the more map mods you add, the more roads you've got to explore, and the longer it takes you to get to, I don't know, a decent percentage of the roads explored. But ideally I'd like to end up on 100% one day and say I've explored every single inch of the roads, but that would be tough. Ah, petrol station. Right, I'm going to pull in. And I'm going to stop just over here. Not going to be long, should be anybody's way. Okay, let's just turn the engine off for a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go out to the main menu, have a look at the world map, zoom in a bit. Okay, so we are going across country towards Birmingham way, and then we're getting on the M5, yep, down to there, and then we turn off and head down into Cardiff. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. So we're going across country as I suspected. Going to come across Birmingham. There's Birmingham. So before Birmingham, we turn off onto the M5. Yep, makes perfect sense. That's exactly the way I would do it in reality, I think. That's pretty much the way I would go. I can't really argue with that. So nothing on the road by the look of it in the mirror. Remember, we're not using the extra mirror that Euro Truck gives you. Turned that off because I've got Track IR and I can just look in the left-hand mirror like that. Roads are much quieter. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, and the roads do get quieter at night. Even in the cities, you find there's a lot less traffic around late in the evening compared to what it's like during the day. There are mods you can get that add in more traffic if you want traffic jams and such like. It seems a little bit pointless to me to create massive traffic jams, so we end up doing this sat in traffic. But I suppose, you know, it's more realistic that there'd be loads and loads of traffic on the M25, let's say, something like that. So there are mods that will do that. As I say, you just have to be careful about how many mods you use, because you get incompatibilities between mods. More mods you use, the longer it takes to load the game. Yeah, so, you know, I think you have to sort of say, well, you know, this is what I really want from the game, these are the mods that I want to use, and I'm not going to worry about some of the other stuff, to be frankly honest. And I do sort of tend to think that, well, the map extensions mods, Promods and Rusmap obviously give you lots more to explore, so that's really good. The Jazzy Cat Trucks and Trailers mod gives you, you know, a lot more cargoes, gives you real companies in the game. They're still heading for Birmingham, according to that sign. So more real companies, which is good. More places to go, more places to visit from the maps, more different cargoes from the Jazzy Cat mod. So they sort of are the more important things to me, more than maybe weather mods or stuff like that. So I've sort of prioritised what I want from the game in terms of mods. If anybody from SCS is listening, it would be nice if seasons changed in the game. So, I mean, it never tells us what date we're on. It just says we're on Monday, week 1 or whatever. Don't necessarily need to have a date, but you know, if you knew you were, say, starting in summer, and then a while later, several weeks later, it changes to autumn, and the time at which it gets dark changes, I wouldn't have thought that's too hard to do. So that would make it even better. But I think it's pretty cool as it is, to be honest. I mean, the key thing is you can drive around, you can take loads, you can deliver them, and that's really what you're supposed to be doing. So that is the key thing. But if you guys have any bright ideas for mods that you've tried and you know work well, bearing in mind we're on 1.27 now, and some of the mods from earlier versions might not work. The Jazzy Cat one does. That seems to work with any version from what I've managed to see of things. But if you've got any mod suggestions, let me know. I'll try them, see what happens. But we need to make sure that they're not going to cause problems, incompatibility with Promods and Rusmap or something. So, you know, it would be subject to a bit of testing on my part, I think, to perhaps set up another testing profile, stick in the appropriate mods and then see what happens, see if it's stable and doesn't cause us difficulties. And provided it doesn't do that, no reason why we shouldn't give them a go, really. At the moment we're heading across towards Birmingham, and this could be the M5 we're coming up on. I think that was the next junction, wasn't it? Turn onto the M5. No, we'll see shortly. The sun is going down. It's going to be getting dark soon. It's 9:30, so the fact that it's not dark at 9:30 in the evening suggests it's definitely summer. And it seems to stay summer no matter what. So, as I say, changing seasons would be nice. Changing weather though, that's pretty good. I mean, it could bin it down any minute, which is pretty typical of the UK, to be fair. Okay, M6 by looking at what we're going on to here. It's be a short period on the M6 before we get to the M5. I'm trying to think where the M6 M5 junction would be, but it must be around Birmingham. It's not Spaghetti, is it? I don't think it's Spaghetti junction. It could be Spaghetti junction, who knows? You can see we're coming up here onto the M6, the one junction where we go off onto the M5 to Cardiff. Bit of a struggle getting up there. Low powered truck and a heavy load behind us. We've got 18 tons of fresh fish. That's a lot of fish. That's a lot of fish, 18 tons. So, yeah, sometimes coming off those slip roads, coming up those hills, when you've got a fairly low powered truck like we have early in the game, can be a bit of a struggle. Let's indicate left just to show that we are going off here. So, need to watch some of these sweeping bends sometimes. You take these too fast, or you end up banging into the barrier. We'd all be doing that. So there we go. Going to stick to the left-hand lane wherever possible. No real need to be out there. We'll leave that one for anybody who wants to overtake us. As I say, it is 10 o'clock at night now, so there'll be a lot less traffic around. The lighting effects in Euro Truck have got so much better, I've got to say. The lighting effect under the street lamps and so on is pretty cool now. It does get better all the time. I did see a model on Steam Workshop the other day which changes the number of lights in the buildings, so that generally when you see buildings at night it seems like all the lights are on, and that mod makes it more realistic with less lights on in the buildings, I think. I haven't really looked at it in any detail, but that's another petrol station there, sort of motorway services, both sides of the road. And we're about 150 miles out of Cardiff, so we are getting there, about 3 hours to go. When we get our own truck, we'll need to keep an eye on our time to rest and so on. So we would have 7 hours still to go, which means we've got plenty of time to complete this job. Once we get our own truck, take longer jobs, then resting time will become an issue, fuel will become an issue. We have to start paying for the fuel. At the moment our employer pays for it. And of course we get things like ferries, Channel Tunnel, toll roads in France. All of those things start eating into our money once we've got our own truck. So all of that is still to come. This will be our last quick job, I would imagine. Intention at the end of this one would be to buy our own truck, and we'll then get sent back to Cambridge, because that's where the truck will get delivered to, that's where our garage is. So we'll start the next job from Cambridge, not Cardiff. But that's purely because we've just bought the truck. Technically you could buy the truck, drive without cargo all the way down to Cardiff and start again from Cardiff, but that's a long way to do that. So we'll start the next job from Cambridge once we've got our truck there. That'll be the ideal. Move out a bit because this guy seems to be going quite slowly. See if we can get past these guys on the 50-mile-an-hour limit before it changes back, and then once it hits 60, which it's going to do now, I guess these guys will disappear off into the distance. Yeah, that's what I expected. That's right. So 60 for trucks. The route advisor is always showing the truck limit, so that's the limit for trucks, but for cars it will be 70. So they will be going past us and disappearing into the distance really quickly, I would have thought. Okay, so we're coming off here. Indicate right, we're going to be turning right down here. To adjust the sensitivity of the brakes, they seem to be a bit over keen at the moment. But not to worry, we are doing okay. We're 100 miles out now, just over, so it won't be long before we're in Cardiff. 2 hours game time, so this video shouldn't be too long. Once we get on to longer jobs, we'll be cutting the video halfway through and doing them in like 2 parts, maybe even 3 parts if it's a really long journey, because I don't want to make the videos ridiculously long. Must be uphill here because we seem to be picking up a lot of speed, so I only assume it's uphill. Accelerating a bit more now, that's better. Yes, I think we just got over the crest of that hill. Nice when you get higher powered trucks later in the game, and hills are not really a problem anymore because you've got much more power and you can get up and even carrying quite heavy loads. Another interesting thing, I suppose, in terms of mods, there is an oversized load mod, I believe, which gives you some really freaky cargoes. Some really big weird things, quite what they are, Lord alone knows, but yeah, you can get some really long ones, some really wide ones, really heavy ones, whatever really, so so we've got another petrol station coming up. That sign said in 200 yards. We're going uphill again. Believe it or not, my foot is on the throttle, but I've been picking up speed up these hills. Once we get up here, hopefully we'll start picking up a bit of speed. There we go. Quite interesting if you go somewhere like Iceland. I wouldn't recommend doing it with a low-powered truck, because sometimes with the ice and snow on the road and it's uphill, you actually can't really get up there. You've got the power to get up there. You need a bit more power sometimes to get up the hills when the roads are all snow and ice. I've had a few issues with that, so I tend not to go into the really cold areas like Iceland and so on until I've got a truck with more power. It can also be quite difficult sometimes to get out the quarries. There are quarries in the game where you can pick up cargo, and if you've got a cargo and you've got to get up the hill to get out of the quarry, quite a heavy cargo on the back, that can be difficult with a low powered truck as well. There's all those sorts of things you need to bear in mind, which is why I like to get the best truck that I can as early as I can. And I tend not to customise the early ones. I don't see much point customising the truck, spending loads of money on it. All I'm going to do is trade it in shortly. I generally wait until I've got the best one with the most power, and then do the customisation. Paint job hopefully with the corporate logo, which for me is the flame. And what other paint jobs there are. Nice to use different paint jobs and stuff, because I say I don't usually do it until I've got the best truck, because otherwise you're spending money customising your truck before you trade in, which, as far as I know, any customisations don't carry through onto the new truck. I might be wrong, but I generally wait till I've got the best one. So, are we okay here? I think we are. Plenty of room to get down there. Get the trailer safely around, no problems there. So now we are 75 miles away, so we're going to be there very soon. Again, it's uphill down here by the look of things, so picking up speed as fast as we might, but it should improve now. 50-mile-an-hour limit, so we need to keep an eye on that. Noticeable, I haven't seen any police cars on this journey. Maybe you just don't see so many of them at night. I guess it's not unreasonable. I guess there are less around at night, I don't know. I guess there's less of everything around at night really, so... You see all the buildings in front of us, looks like blocks of flats or something. I guess that's the outskirts of Cardiff. Not sure, but I guess it is. Up on the hill there. In the Welsh valleys. Very nice too. Lovely area of the country actually, very scenic, very pleasant area to visit. Been a while since I've been to Wales, but it's a nice area of the country. UK's got a lot of very nice. The lakes are nice. South coast is very pleasant, nice weather, and so on. So there's a fair few areas in the country I've not been to. So there's always plenty of places to visit in the UK. I currently live in Lincolnshire, and there's a fair bit around here as well. I mean, I live on the coast, I'm like 100 miles from the sea, which is nice on a nice day as well. Go for a walk on the beach and that, but there's a few nice things around, like wildlife parks and such like if you're into animals. Much more major resorts. Skegness is not too far from me, so that's all we ought to do is always Skegness. Hello, we've got lights flashing here. Looks like there's a train on its way. My usual luck with lights. In this case, not just a traffic light. Ah, train. Hello there. Cargo rail. Too long. Too long. Is that going to be the only train? Are the gates going to lift? Or is... Oh yes, we're okay. Gates are lifting. Good news. Good. So now 40 miles into Cardiff, 1 hour of game time. So in reality, a few minutes, and we will be there. Just to say again, in 1.27 there's the parking difficulty option, which is in the main menu under gameplay, and I've set it on random, so I don't know whether we'll get a nice easy parking space or something more difficult. Where are we going to? Schenker. Well, Schenker's a fairly easy drop off usually. Sometimes when you get places like Aldi and IKEA, they can be, you know, virtually like in a car park, and very tight areas you've got to park your trailer in, let's put it that way. They're a bit more of a challenge. Anyway, we are now very nearly there, 30 miles out. Hill again. You have to expect that in Wales, lots of hills and valleys and everything else. Coming to a right turn here. Start indicating. Not that there's much around in terms of traffic, but see on the road it says Araf, slow. Araf, I guess, is Welsh for slow. I don't know any Welsh, I have to confess, but I guess that must be the Welsh word for slow. I think it's good that the Welsh language continues, and you know, people do still, some people do speak Welsh in Wales. It'd be a shame if languages like that were to die out completely. So yeah, a lot of people obviously speak English, but well, everybody I guess speaks English, but some still speak Welsh as well, which is nice. Cymru is Wales in Welsh, isn't it? C-Y-M-R-U, hence the political party, Plaid Cymru. Cymru, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I didn't see a welcome to Wales sign as we came along, but I'm sure there was one. We should soon get the Cardiff discovered message, which would be nice. It's another city discovered. And then we'll be buying that truck, as I say, at the beginning of the next episode. And then seeing where we're going to go. We'll probably level up at the end of this. I would think at least one skill point, possibly two, because this has been a bit of a longer journey, so hopefully it'll get us a fair amount of XP. And that will level us up, and we'll have another skill point to allocate. And I'm slowing here in a 30-mile-an-hour limit. There's Cardiff sign, so we're in Cardiff. I'll expect to see the Cardiff discovered message any minute. There it is. looks like we're going left at the end of this road. You can zoom in the route advisor if you want to get a better view of exactly where you got to go, but I don't usually find that necessary, to be honest. So we'll indicate left, traffic lights on red, no surprise there. Bit of traffic around, 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, there's a bit on the roads. As soon as I come to a stop, the lights change. And they're always the way. Train us safely round. Now it's right at this one. Lights are changing as I approach them, that's handy. Come on mate, get across the junction. He's going right as well. Might be indicating a lot later than me, but there you go. Right, so I'm going to pull across here. And on the right is our drop-off point. And it's got easy parking by the look of it. I can see it. Yeah, it's giving us a very easy one by the look of it. We'll click the barrier there. Let's resolve that slight issue. Come on. Should be able to go from there. Okay, we get across this road. So not much traffic around given the time. Now this is going to be a problem. You can see what I mean about, I don't know if this is just random parking that does this or not, but I cannot park in the space. It's impossible. Because all that lot's in the way. So I've got no choice but to hit enter and lose the precise parking bonus points on the XP. There is no choice because I simply cannot park in the space it wants me to park in. That's a bit strange. I don't know why it does that. That's something that they need to correct somewhere. But anyway, not to worry. There we go, levelling up. Yep, so 1 extra skill point, which again I'll put on long distance. As I said before, I usually put about the first 4 onto long distance. We've got an email, but we're not too worried about that. So we've got brand new Volvo trucks for sale in London, which is where we'll be going to get a truck. Bank loan I will need. Not too worried about BASF in Grimsby at the moment. Okay, so that is the end of that episode, guys. So we will be back next time where we'll get our own truck and then start exploring. Okay, take care. In the meantime, happy trucking. Bye now.